Hello everyone and welcome back to biology. Today, we are going to explore one of the most fascinating questions in life sciences: what is a cell? Have you ever thought about this? How can something as massive as an elephant and something as tiny as an ant be built on the same principle? The answer lies in the basic unit of life, the cell. From the microscopic amoeba to you and me, every living organism starts from just one cell. Yes, a single microscopic cell. That one cell divides and multiplies to form trillions of cells, building an entire living being. Think about it: when you accidentally cut your skin and it heals, that's new cells being produced to repair the damage. Or when you look at a drop of pond water under a microscope, you'll see it teeming with countless little organisms, each of them made of cells. So let's define it clearly. A cell is the structural and functional unit of life. It is the smallest unit capable of existing independently and performing all essential life processes. Now let's dive deeper. Why do we call the cell both the structural and functional unit of life? First, the structural role. Cells form the framework of tissues, which then combine to form organs, and finally, organ systems. Just like bricks build a house, cells build your body. Second, the functional role. Every cell is like a tiny factory, performing processes essential to life. Inside the cell, respiration occurs, proteins are synthesized, and wastes are removed. For example, inside each of your muscle cells, there are mitochondria, the so-called powerhouses of the cell. They perform cellular respiration, producing energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate or ATP. That energy fuels activities such as muscle contraction when you run or jump. And think about your red blood cells. They perform a very specialized function, carrying oxygen from your lungs to every tissue in your body. Without them, life would not continue for even a few minutes. So remember this: cells are not just building blocks, they are also the smallest living units where life's processes are carried out. Here's something truly amazing: the diversity of cells across life. In unicellular organisms like amoeba, a single cell carries out all the life functions needed for survival. But in multicellular organisms like us, there are trillions of cells, each specialized for a particular task. Take your body, for instance. Your brain has nerve cells that conduct impulses, your skin has epithelial cells forming a protective layer, and your muscles contain elongated muscle fibers that enable movement. Plants too show remarkable cell specialization. Leaf cells contain chloroplasts and carry out photosynthesis. Root cells absorb water and minerals from the soil. And xylem vessels form long tubes to transport this water upwards to every leaf. If we look at a cross-section of a leaf under the microscope, we can clearly see chloroplasts in the green palisade cells, the sites of photosynthesis. Isn't it fascinating? Despite this incredible variety, all cells share common structures like the plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and genetic material. These unite the diversity of life at the cellular level. Students, just like organisms, cells are not immortal. They too are born, they live, they perform their functions, they grow old, and eventually, they die. Isn't that fascinating? Even the smallest units of life follow the great cycle of existence. Take the human red blood cells as an example. These tiny disc-shaped cells survive for about 1 to 0 days, that is 120 days, before they are destroyed and replaced in the bone marrow. Every single second, millions of your red blood cells are dying, and millions more are being born to take their place. Now, how do all cells die? They undergo a process called apoptosis, programmed cell death. This is nature's intelligent way of removing weak or damaged cells so the body can stay healthy. At the same time, new cells are continuously being produced through cell division. Here's a real-life example you can touch. When your hair grows, it is not magic, it is the rapid cell division happening inside your hair follicles, pushing the strand longer and longer. This continuous cycle of cell birth, life, and death ensures tissue repair, growth, and the replacement of worn-out structures. Without it, wounds would never heal, hair would never grow, and your body would simply fall apart. So remember, the secret to life's continuity lies in this endless rhythm of cells being born and cells being replaced. Isn't it marvelous how nature keeps balance at the microscopic level? Hello students! Have you ever thought about why we couldn't see cells for so many centuries? The truth is, cells are far too tiny to be visible with the naked eye. It wasn't until magnifying devices were invented that the hidden world of cells finally came into view. Let's travel back to the year 1665. Robert Hooke, an English scientist, observed very thin slices of cork under his microscope. What he saw amazed him: countless tiny, box-like compartments, which he named cells, just like the little rooms of a monastery. Now, at the same time, in the Netherlands, a Dutch scientist named Antony van Leeuwenhoek built powerful but simple microscopes of his own. Through them, he was the very first to see living cells, tiny bacteria, and swimming protozoa. Imagine his wonder as he watched these microscopic beings move and thrive in a drop of water. Look at this picture. These are Hooke's original cork cell drawings, showing the honeycomb-like compartments he described. This discovery marked the dawn of a new era in biology. It revealed the astonishing truth that every living organism, no matter how simple or complex, is built from cells. Truly, all life is cellular in nature. Let's bring everything together. Every living being, from the simplest single-celled organism to the most complex human, is built of cells. Cells are both the structural building blocks and the functional engines of life. We saw how diverse cells are: red blood cells transporting oxygen, nerve cells conducting impulses, plant cells making food through photosynthesis, yet all of them share the same basic plan. We also understood that cells have lifespans, with old cells dying and new ones continuously being born to maintain life. And we explored how scientists like Hooke and Leeuwenhoek opened our eyes to this microscopic world with their early microscopes. So now you know why we say, the cell is the unit of life. Without cells, there would be no growth, no repair, no energy, no life at all. I hope this session helped you appreciate how every moment of your existence depends on the work of trillions of tiny cells. Isn't biology truly the science of life? Until our next fascinating journey, remember this: you are a walking, breathing universe of cells, each one working in harmony to make you who you are.